So either Dana White or the UFC is either out of touch with reality and they don't know what the fans want, or they just simply don't care what the fans want. And it's not just what the fans want, it's what's good for business. The UFC is supposed to be the business in the fight game, the good business that makes fights happen. They have the best fight the best. And then they make fight announcements like this. Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili 2 was the big fight announcement that they had today. They were teasing it all day. They posted Dana White's going to go live with some huge news. It wasn't just, we have some fight news. It was huge announcement. So you're thinking, oh, is it John Jones, Tom Aspinall? Is it Ilia Topuria versus anybody? I don't care who it would be. Is it Ilia Topuria fight news? Is it Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev? Because that's a huge fight that should happen this year. And they're not announcing any fights, any interesting fights, except for Sean O'Malley and Merab Dvalishvili. That's the big fight announcement. Oh, actually, I forgot. It doesn't end there because we also have Julianna Pena defending her belt against Brock Lesnar's brother, Kayla Harrison. So yeah, that's another piece of fight news. And then we also have, this is a pretty good fight. We have Carlos Prates versus Ian Garry. I actually think that this is a pretty good fight. So I'm way more hyped about this one than the other two. But let's start straight away with the Sean O'Malley, Merab Dvalishvili. I understand that the bantamweight division doesn't have a ton of people that are deserving to fight for the title. But I mean, you choose Sean O'Malley, who hasn't even fought since. It's not like he's gone out there and he's on a 2 or 3 fight win streak. He hasn't fought anybody. He lost to Merab, and then he's just waited out with an injury, and now they're just giving him a rematch. And the thing is, Sean O'Malley, they think he's a superstar for some reason, and I don't understand why. He's not a superstar. I feel like his fan base is like teenage boys who think he's cool because he smokes weed and has crazy color hair and he's monotone. He's not an exciting guy on the mic. He used to knock people out all the time when he was fighting cans, but recently he hasn't been knocking people out. His fights haven't been that exciting. He beat up Chito Vera, but that was his one title defense, and that was Chito Vera, who was ranked number 6. So I don't understand why Sean O'Malley is getting the rematch. This would have been the perfect time to do Alexandre Pantoja versus Merab Dvalishvili for a super fight, because the flyweight division and the bantamweight division, they're kind of both in the same scenario right now. We don't really have clear fights that should be made. The Pantoja has fought everybody twice or 3 times. He's beaten everybody. And then you have the bantamweight division, who's kind of in the same scenario where Merab Dvalishvili has fought a ton of guys. You could do rematches, or you could just have people fight each other. So I think what they should have done is have Pantoja versus Merab Dvalishvili, and then have the divisions fight each other, have the top prospects fight each other. So when Merab and Pantoja fight, by the time that fight happens, you'll actually have contenders for their next title defenses. So I don't understand. I don't understand why they're making this rematch. Nobody wanted it. Nobody cares. And I don't know, this fight, I could see Sean O'Malley going out there. He has 25 more minutes with Merab. He could have a good game plan coming into this one. He's fought him. I could see him making the better adjustments in this fight, and I could see him knocking out Merab Dvalishvili. But man, just the fact that they're trying to push Sean O'Malley as a superstar and he's not, I hope Merab Dvalishvili goes out there and beats him dominantly. And, I'd say I wish he would finish him, but Merab Dvalishvili can't finish anybody. Man, if he goes out there and finishes Sean O'Malley, that'd be awesome, but that's not going to happen. So, yeah, I kind of see Merab just doing his same old thing as last time, just out-wrestling Sean O'Malley. If it is a close fight, I could see them just giving it to Sean O'Malley because the UFC definitely wants him as champion. But I'm going to take Merab in the rematch, but I think that Sean O'Malley has a good chance if he can come up with a good game plan. But then we also have Julianna Pena, Brock Lesnar's brother, Kayla Harrison. She's a man, dude. I swear she's a man, which is why I'm going to take her in this fight. I don't care. Julianna Pena throws punches with her eyes closed. She throws like an idiot. She punches like she's never trained a day in her life. So I'm just going to take Kayla Harrison, who's huge. She knows how to wrestle. And yeah, honestly, I don't really care about this fight. But then we also have Carlos Prates versus Ian Garry. This is a great fight. This is a really, really good fight. Jeff Neal had to drop out of his fight due to injury for UFC 312. And man, I know Ian Garry gets a lot of hate, And, I'm included in that. I don't like Ian Garry. He's kind of a loser outside the cage. But, man, he's taking these fights on short notice. He took Shavkat Rakhmonov on short notice, tooth and nail, man. He almost won that fight. That was a really close fight. And Shavkat Rakhmonov, considered the boogeyman of the division. He took that fight. And now he's taking on Carlos Prates, who is a really, really good contender. He's knocking everybody out. He's really dangerous. So you got to give some props here to Ian Garry, man. He's stepping up again. He's stepping up again on short notice. That is one thing you got to respect about him, is he is willing to take on anybody at any time. He was willing to take on Colby Covington when Colby Covington was talking shit. And then when he finally said he would fight him, or not finally, but he said, yeah, I'll take you on, Colby Covington, and Covington went running. So you got to give some props to Ian Garry. And I actually think that this is a pretty good matchup for him. Carlos Prates, he's a great striker, but he's so tall and so rangy that he's so used to having this advantage over his opponents, which is why I thought Jeff Neal was a good matchup for him. But Ian Garry, he has some frame on him, man. He has size on him. He's rangy as well. He's tall as well. So I could see Ian Garry really matching him on the feet, being the more technical fighter. But I could also see Ian Garry just taking the approach that he had with the MVP fight and just taking him down, grinding out a decision. And so I could see that happening. I think I'm actually going to take Ian Garry here. If it's a strictly stand-up fight, I think it's close. So if I think it's going to be close with that, I just think Ian Garry has the advantage on the ground, in the wrestling, in the grappling. So I think that he has more ways to get this done. Carlos Prates is a knockout artist. If he doesn't get the knockout, I don't see him winning a decision, because Ian Garry is really good at just pointing people on the feet. So yeah, this is a good fight. I like this fight a lot. I think Carlos Prates, man, he'd be a fun contender to have in the division. So I hope he wins. But yeah, you got to give props to Ian Garry. And yeah, I'm going to take Ian Garry right now as an early prediction to get it done by decision. Probably a boring fight, just grinding out a decision. So yeah, these are the fights. What do you guys think? And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.